Welcome to the group project part 2. Our team is Thomas, Elsbeth, Naomi, and Nick. Today we're addressing a serious problem that impacts many young Australians. It's cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is identified as the repeated use of technology to harass, intimidate, or harm others, most often through social media, text messaging, or online gaming. It's a persistent issue and very harmful that affect many young Australians. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying follows teens beyond school hours, embedding their private digital spaces. This constant presence makes it incredibly challenging for them to find a safe haven. We devised our Tag Kindness campaign to empower young people, parents, schools, and policymakers to build a culture of respect and accountability online. Our goal is to promote positive digital behavior, improve communication, and drive systemic change, making kindness go viral and cyberbullying socially unacceptable. From passive tolerance to active kindness. In this slide, we share some statistics that we use for our poster. The most striking one is that 1 in 3 young Australians report being cyberbullied, and especially girls are particularly vulnerable. As the father of 2 girls, this is very striking for me. Social media platforms are the main platform for abuse, accounting for 70% of the incidents. We want parents to talk regularly with teens about cyberbullying using helpful prompts. Our aim is also to embed anti-bullying actions into everyday school and sports club culture. We want the government to involve youth and education experts in cyberbullying policy and the tech platforms to implement design features that prevent harm and promote positive behavior. We don't want a one-size-fits-all plan. The Tag Kindness campaign takes a firm stand against cyberbullying by promoting a culture of empathy, respect, and accountability in online spaces. We believe that prevention is most powerful when it is proactive and supported by strong community systems. Through education, peer influence, and emotional storytelling, Tag Kindness aims to reduce the prevalence of cyberbullying and foster safer, more inclusive online environments for all young people.
The 2 theories we have chosen for this program are the social cognitive theory and the shift framework. The social cognitive theory dictates change from 3 separate sources: behavior, environment, and personal factors. These include observed behavior, social norms, and self-control. The shift framework believes that change is possible through changing your social influence, habit formation, individual self, feelings and cognition, and tangibility.
To ensure our campaign was grounded in real needs, we combined secondary research with our primary research and concept testing. We began by reviewing past campaigns like Dolly's Dream and Reach Out. While these had strong emotional messaging, they often lacked practical ongoing tools, especially for parents, or specific strategies to help teens build confidence. This helped us identify a gap: the need for accessible tools that could support both awareness and action. We then interviewed 21 teenagers and 15 parents. Teens consistently told us they wanted to know what to say or do in the moment, to feel backed by their school, and to be able to talk to someone they trust. One said, "I bark back at them, show them my true colours," while others stressed they'd feel more confident if they knew their school would support them, or if more students would stand up for each other. Parents raised concerns about fake profiles, lack of empathy online, and the limits of current platform moderation. Several called for schools to teach digital well-being as part of everyday learning, not just one-off sessions. One parent said, "If kids feel safe to speak up, we have a better chance of stopping the bullying early." Another shared, "I'd talk about it more if I had the right words." These insights directly shaped our campaign. We developed peer-focused confidence tools, bystander prompts, and a parent resource accessed via QR code, designed to support honest and practical action. We then conducted concept testing with 3 parents, 3 teens, and a small group of participants across different strategy levels. Teens described #kindness as real, not cringy, and something I'd actually post. Parents said the QR pamphlet felt supportive without being preachy, and it would be useful if it came from a school. At the upstream level, both parents and teens preferred smart platform tools like blurring or flagging harmful content over strict bans. These insights informed every part of our campaign, from tone and tools to positioning and policy suggestions.
For our marketing strategies, our initial research identified the government and social media companies as upstream stakeholders, schools and local community clubs as midstream stakeholders, and parents of teenagers as downstream stakeholders. For our upstream level, the desired behaviours are for the government to include young people in decision-making processes and for social media companies to improve their safety and privacy features. Our original concepts included a two-factor identification system as well as social media limitation guidelines around how long teenagers should spend on social media. Concept testing found that two-factor identification process poses a threat to digital privacy and that the government should not interfere with a person's use of social media. To tackle cyberbullying on a large scale, we advise that the Australian government include teens in their decision-making processes. Our survey responses showed that a majority of teenagers do not believe that the social media ban will reduce or eradicate cyberbullying. We also push for social media companies to eliminate cyberbullying from their platforms by implementing sentiment analysis technology. This will allow for harmful comments or hurtful posts to be blurred before viewing, leaving the victim of cyberbullying protected and allowing others to exercise their rights to free speech and access to information. This is an example of upstream intervention, exercising the self-control aspect of the social cognitive theory. Our midstream desired behaviours were for community support, online and offline kindness, as well as embedding anti-bullying into everyday culture. Our original concept was the Click with Care campaign, where teenagers were taught the impact of online comments as well as online activity. To further eliminate cyberbullying, this program advises that a digital campaign, #TagKindness, be launched online and offline. #TagKindness is not only catchy, but it aims to promote kind acts, reward good behaviour, and provide tangibility to this movement. Implementing this across the social media landscape, in schools, and throughout various community stakeholders such as sports clubs will not only encourage but reinforce the desired behaviour and make it the social norm. This example of midstream intervention draws on the habit formation, individual self, feelings and cognition, and tangibility components of the SHIFT framework, as well as the reinforcement aspect of the social cognitive theory. Our desired behaviours for the downstream is that we want parents to talk regularly with their children about cyberbullying and its impacts. We want them to be safe and a supportive person for their children, and we want these conversations to be breaking down the digital barriers between generations. Our original concepts for this target audience was a website with conversation starters, a pamphlet about information of cyberbullying, as well as the government guidelines for e-safety and regular parent-teacher-child meetings. Through education and role modelling, parents can facilitate, spread awareness, and help their children cope with cyberbullying. We want parents to be a safe support person for their children. So a simple QR code that links to the eSafety Commission's website for parents portal will provide realistic conversation starter tips and other important information. This implementation is an example of downstream intervention, pulling inspiration from the self-efficacy and behavioural capability aspects of the social cognitive theory, as well as social influence component from the SHIFT framework.
To understand whether our campaign is working, we've created an evaluation plan that looks at 3 levels: downstream, midstream, and upstream. At each level, we've defined a clear outcome we're aiming for and how we'll measure it. Downstream is all about parents. We'll be able to measure this in a few ways. First, we'll track how many people scan our QR code to access the parent resource using platforms like Google Analytics or QR code generators with built-in tracking, and potentially tools like SEMrush to monitor broader engagement. We'll also ask students in an annual school survey, has a parent or guardian ever spoken to you about cyberbullying? And we'll collect feedback from parents themselves if the resource helped make these conversations easier. And finally, we'll check in with schools to see if they've noticed any changes in parent engagement. Midstream focuses on schools and clubs. To measure this, we'll track how often the Tag Kindness hashtag is used across school and club social posts, tracking post reach and engagement through platform insights and supporting this with manual tracking and basic social listening tools. We'll also collect reflections from students through classroom discussions or written responses. And we'll ask teachers and coaches whether they've noticed the message landing with students. Upstream is about government and platforms. We'll monitor policy and platform updates, such as tools that blow harmful comments, by setting up media alerts, tracking the rollout of new moderation features, and gathering access data and stakeholder feedback to understand whether our materials are influencing the conversation. Using Google Analytics, we will also track how often our policy resources are downloaded, shared, or opened by schools and stakeholders. And we'll gather feedback from users, parents, and educators to understand whether the campaign is shifting attitudes towards digital kindness, safety, and shared responsibility. Measuring all three levels, downstream, midstream, and upstream, we'll be able to see how far the message goes, and more importantly, whether it changes real behaviours.
By adopting these recommendations, Australian teenagers will be able to combat cyberbullying as well as learn resilience in themselves. This movement is about empowering others, spreading love, and tagging kindness.
Welcome to the beautiful Manly Beach. We're here to launch the 2025 Tag Kindness campaign.
Woo! Tag kindness. Tag kindness. Tag kindness. Woo!